Hey guys, so you're reading that title right down below. This is my first story time ever, and I'm making it about the story of my abuse. I decided to tell this story because there's so many lessons to be learned out of this. And I have so much to say that could potentially save someone's life from going down the drain. So I'm going to start with the basics and tell you how it all started. Back in 2010, we met on MySpace. He had just gotten out of a relationship and said he didn't want anything serious. So I told him, okay, we can just be friends. So for a few weeks we hung out, and I had asked him to come over to be an extra in this movie for school I was editing and playing in. And he agreed, and I think the next day over text message, I asked him if he wanted to be my boyfriend, and he said yes. And it was all great. It was fantastic for like 6 months to a year. He wrote me poems, which I found out that he just copied and pasted from the internet. And he said he did that to every girl. Anywho, so for those 6 months to a year, he basically took his time to manipulate me into thinking that he was some sort of Prince Charming. That all of a sudden, at 15 years of age, I found my one and only. Flash forward to almost 2011, I believe, is when he would make little gestures for me to call him sugar daddy and daddy, and then it got serious. And if I didn't call him that, then there would be a punishment for my unacceptable behavior. He also would call me little girl, daughter, turned into fat, stupid, ugly, chubby. By those punishments and out of behavior, I mean punishments as in getting a slap on the hand, as like that. Standing in the corner of his house for 30 minutes as his whole family walks by, as everyone walks by, and I'm not allowed to say one word. I can't sit down or anything like that. He wouldn't let me wear makeup, or when I did, he would tell me what to put on. I wasn't allowed to wear certain clothing. I wasn't allowed to curse at all. I went to school and I went to his house. It's like I was a slave all day, every day, sometimes into the night to 2 a.m. But when I got home, I felt free. And I just took all of my problems, I guess, and went crazy all over the internet. This is around the time of the Amanda Todd video that I put out. But things had gotten a lot worse by then and after that. He made me delete my Instagram social media accounts. I had to delete every boy I ever knew off Facebook, even my best friend from when we were babies. Even girl friends that I had, I weren't allowed to hang out with. I couldn't talk to them. And the main reason for that was because he said that he was going to sleep with them, and I could do nothing about it. He would often threaten me with that. I don't know if he actually did it or not, but I really have strong feelings that he did, but he would always say that he could cheat on me and I would never know, and if I were to find out, then I was not to get mad, and if I got mad, I would be punished. Having your mind fucked like that, it's fucked forever. When I first got out of the relationship, I was still asking guys that I was hanging out with, hey, can I do this, do that? And they're like, why are you asking? Just go do it. And I hadn't realized what freedom I had. Because when I was with this abuser, I had to ask wherever I went. I had to ask him if I could go to the mall, if I could go just to CVS or Walgreens, if I could go pick up food. I had to ask for everything. At least that's what I felt like then. Because he manipulated my brain so much. It's like he was just trying to train me into being whatever he wanted a girlfriend to be. The abuse was not only verbal, it was emotional and physical. I've been slapped, strangled, pushed. I've been raped. Even though you're in a relationship, there are still boundaries. If your partner doesn't want to have sex with you, you need to respect that. But no matter how many times I said no, or wait, I wasn't even allowed to say no to him. He did it. I don't know how many times, countless times, of when I didn't want to have sex with him. But I had to. I felt like I had to. It got so bad that I was asking my mom just to make up excuses so I couldn't go over to his house, or so that I couldn't do something that he asked me to do because it was disgusting or vulgar or embarrassing. On countless times he wanted me to embarrass myself in public. I remember this one time at the county fair, we were standing in line getting tickets with my best friend there. She's no longer my best friend. He was ordering me to give him a blowjob in the middle of the line where all those people were. And of course I didn't. I refused. I would never. And I knew I would have to pay for that later. I knew I was gonna get beaten or something, but I was so fucking wrong. Because this scene replays a lot in my head. How sick and disgusting this was. We all got in the car, my ex-best friend and the abuser, and he ordered me and pushed my head down to give me a blowjob while my friend was sitting in the back seat. And that was the most humiliating thing. Another thing, he almost killed me. He strangled me to the point where I couldn't breathe at all. And I never ratted him out. I never called the police, and I wish I should have. Or could have, I mean. But let's talk about what finally made me leave. And this is a really big step that I took. And I feel so proud of myself for doing it. But I had to have a little help. We had numerous fights this particular week, And one night I was just up really late singing music to put up videos on my music channel. And there was a really bad smell and it smelled like sewer. So I called the apartment security and I told them, and they sent a guard up to come and smell around and see what was going on. And long story short, this guard was a few years older than me, but he was clearly interested in me. And I hadn't had anyone kind of this interested in me since I first had met my abuser. He gave me a sense of hope that I could get out, and he gave me confidence. I didn't want anything from him. I didn't want a relationship or anything. He just gave me that boost that I needed. And the next day, I broke up with him. That was it. I sent him the longest text message, which I know text message breakups are really pathetic. But I was fearing for my life. Then over 2 weeks, he tried to contact me, phone calls, text messages, and everything. And by then, I had made friends. I did things that he told me that I was not allowed to do. It made me feel free. It made me feel like I was finding myself. And he asked just one last time if we could talk. And we did. And he said, "Do you really want to break up?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm having the best life right now." And here I am 2.5 years later, having an even more better life. I partied my ass off. I did so many wonderful, adventurous things that I didn't think I would ever do when I was with my abuser. I met the most amazing man ever, and we bought this house together. He's just amazing, and he showers me with love all the time. And he is my Prince Charming. My abuser was never my Prince Charming. Ladies, men, non-binary, I urge you to seek help if your partner ever abuses you, whether it's emotional, physically, or verbally. Because when you're free, you'll never want to go back. I have post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and panic attacks. And a lot of my triggers have to do with yelling, tense situations, fights going on around me, and just bad energy. And I get these flashbacks that'll just always be in my head. But I keep thinking that I am out of that. I'm not there anymore. He's gonna be miserable for the rest of his life because he's an abuser. God help any girl that stays with him and gets beaten, broken down, and stripped of everything that they have inside them. No matter what I do, no matter how much evidence I show them, they will just not know until it's too late. I'm sorry this story time was such a bummer. I know it's my first one, really a drag, but this was just a huge chapter of my life that I had to get out. And I encourage all of you to tell your story. And remember, it's never too late to get out. This has been Storytime with Michelle, and I will see you later.